coalition of moms have had enough. People they love are getting sick, and they know that the air they breathe and the water they drink are not healthy for them or for their families. Anusha Roy takes a look at how this coalition is changing how environmental justice is addressed.
After growing up in Elyria, Swansea,
I grew up
and
here.
staying close by next to Suncor,
It's my neighbor.
Lucy Molina, a community organizer, has seen too much.
Bloody noses, the headache.
As a mother, she fights for her children, and that means fighting environmental racism.
Uncomfortable for me to see a lot of my white counterparts coming to my community to let me know that I was getting poisoned. My response is like, you think we don't know that? Two things that are missing in these communities, in low-income communities, in our brown and black communities, is lack of representation and proper funding.
That's where a coalition of groups, including EcoMadres, have been changing how things work.
Bridging communities together to really support air quality monitoring.
Together, they organize workshops in English and Spanish, teach people how to reach out to elected officials and advocate for themselves.
Entonces tenemos que educarnos y involucrarnos. So therefore we need to educate ourselves and become aware and get involved.
The state identified Adams, Pueblo, and Otero counties with the worst pollution and climate change impacts. It's a mix of Superfund sites, water pollution, air pollution from highways and industrial sources. All three counties have high percentages of people of color and people who identify as Latino.
Definitely do see a correlation between areas that have greater environmental health risks and areas where more folks experience those adverse medical outcomes.
So the state launched EnviroScreen, in part to get better data on how often people are falling sick and where. Molina said that she's seeing more aggressive legislation and more success in getting elected officials' attention.
Tenemos que usar nuestra voz para proteger a nuestras familias. We need to use our voice to protect our families.
So it can be really hard to make that direct link between pollution and air quality and how sick someone is getting. So the state is really hoping that EnviroScreen is going to give them better data so they know how to spend their money the right way, where to focus their studies. They also just launched a new plan, Steve, on how to reach communities that are disproportionately impacted by all of these issues. That is something that you can weigh in on until November 22nd, and they're hoping to hear from more people over the next month or two.
You know, I can't think about this stuff without thinking about how dense it is. Like, sometimes I need an expert to explain it all to me so that I can explain it plainly. I can't imagine how tough it is to get the message across.
Yeah, you know, we asked Suncor and CDPHE, like, what are you doing about your messaging to the community? You know, they have information available in multiple languages, in English and Spanish, but the moms who I talked to said it is so important to say it in a way that you can understand it without being an expert. Otherwise, it's going over people's head. They don't know what's happening in their neighborhoods, and then they miss out on an opportunity to advocate for themselves. CDPHE said that's something that they're very conscious of doing right now and changing the way that they're communicating with people, because it is really complicated.
Yeah, and I think we all can agree that moms can be the best explainers.
Yes.
Anusha Roy, thank you.